Okay, we live in the crib, vibing with Vito. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on the YouTube at Vibing with Vito. Also follow us on the Instagram at Vibing with Vito. You already know the slogan. We vibrating higher, always chasing purpose over popularity. Check us out each and every Monday on the Big Facts Network. Shout out to the team. I got my guy in the building, man. We back at it
Oh
again.
yeah, oh yeah, oh
How
yeah.
you
What's
doing,
going
bro?
on with you, man?
Man, I'm doing good, bro. The last
Good.
the last interview we did, bro, I was telling Mila that the vocals were so messed up. It was nothing but static. I was like, bro, I can't put that out.
No, no. You know
I
the
was
brand. The
like, yeah.
brand got to be the
I was like, I
brand.
couldn't put that out. I was like, man, so we had to revisit this, bro. How you
Okay,
been?
I've been good, man. Just working, getting money,
Boy,
making
you
money,
looking like money.
helping people get a little money. You know
Yeah,
how we do
facts.
it,
Facts. Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up. What brought you back to Atlanta this time?
man. I mean, I live here, but I had to.
You be in and out though. It's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah. I
like
be in Houston because I
yeah.
record. We record a lot of material in Houston, as far as content and stuff like that. Because I didn't want to be recording in Atlanta with everybody who got the same looking material.
Yeah, facts.
So I go out there for a few weeks a month, record, come back. But we actually had to be here to do a podcast with David Shands. For those of you who don't know me, I'm T. Anthony Money with the Bulletproof Entrepreneurs, and we did a podcast with David Shands, just talking about entrepreneurship and how to get your structure right, get your credit, get your funding and stuff like that. And if you're in a bind and you're not really scaling your business, what's
Facts.
next?
Facts.
And so just gave him the sauce, man. Even coached him a little bit.
That's hard.
You
That's
know,
hard. That's hard.
how to do it.
Nah, for sure, man. Every time you come to the show, I have to ask you this question because everybody that comes, I ask them to have the honor to ask you again.
I know the question.
How big would you dream if you knew you couldn't fail?
I would dream bigger. I think I dream big already, but I would dream bigger in the fact that knowing that failure is just like a figment of your imagination. It's not nothing that's real. So when you feel fear is because you're not using your faith forward. You know that at the end of faith you have to believe enough to know that even if you can't see it, it's there. It's going to happen. It's just like how you believe in God. You never seen him, but you believe he's real. So your faith need to be that big when you got dreams or aspiration and goals that you want to achieve in life.
Nah, facts. Nah, that was. Say that one more time. You said you're not. You said you're not. What'd you say about forward? Say that part again.
You're not using your faith forward.
I like that.
You know how you say I got a little faith in it.
Yeah.
But then the first time somebody say, "Hey man, I don't think that idea gonna work for you," and then you start thinking in your head, "Well, maybe it may not
Maybe it
work."
may not
Even
work.
though I know it could work, this person just put that on me, so now I'm saying maybe it can work. So you're not pushing your faith forward; you actually stagnating it.
Damn. So take us back because again, I don't know if they watched the first episode, but now they definitely gonna watch this. So take us back. When did you want to embark on this journey with getting your credit together? When did you see the bigger picture for yourself?
I seen about 8 years ago. That's if you guys watched the first episode where we talked about my struggles and stuff like that. At the time, I was coming out of a struggle, but not out of a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at one of my old friends talk about that she was doing credit repair on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and I reached out to her. I said, "Hey, how can I make some money off that?" And I got bad credit. And she was like, "Yeah, I'm really about to lead a company," but I said, "No, I don't lead a company. I'm gonna come in there and help you build it." And I jumped in. Within the first year, my credit score went from like a 589 to a 727 in 60 days. So I was a believer at that point.
Facts.
And then 8 months later, I went from not even having $2.25 to get on the train in Atlanta on the MARTA to making $141,000.
Damn.
So I just never looked back.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of people that we know that got bad credit that look just like us, and they don't have a way out or they don't know how to do it. And I was that person that was that medium between that.
Mm-hmm.
I figured out how to fix the credit. I figured out but I figured out a little more than everybody else though. People knew how to fix the credit, but they didn't know what to do with it.
Facts.
So I understood what numbers need to be there, how many accounts you need to have on your credit, what credit cards you can apply for, which credit bureaus you need to use. You get more than 3 inquiries, they're going to stop you. I learned that early. And so I used it on myself and was able to get my own self $250,000 in funding in 1 year.
Damn.
And I've just been doing it ever since.
How did that money kind of change your outlook on just everything?
I don't really think the money changed my outlook on it because I've seen money my whole life. I was 10 years old counting $10,000 by hand, on the table. So I seen money. It wasn't the money that changed my outlook. It was what I could do with the money.
Okay, let's talk about that.
How many people I can help, looking at a single mom and, knowing she's not making a lot, she got the talent, but she just don't got a coach. She ain't got a mentor.
Right.
So, I pull her in, and I know women going to go hard for their kids. So if you're going to build a team, you want to build your team with mostly women. Have a few guys on there and make sure they ain't playing with the women. But,
Yeah, facts.
if you're going to build a team, you want to build them with some hungry women that got kids. And that's how I grew my team so big. That's how I made so much money. And, they trusted me. They look at me like a big brother, like I'm a husband, a boyfriend, or whatever they didn't have that was a male figure in their life. They looked at me to be that person.
Facts.
And so, and I acted that role. I mean, I didn't take it, further than that, but, I couldn't help that, you didn't grow up with your father, and then I come into your life as a father figure, and that's just the relationship,
Yeah, facts.
Keep it professional, go make your money, and, go out there and meet you a guy who, can fulfill that void in your life. So, I think that credit, if you fix your credit, you're going to change your entire life, because you can do more with credit than you can do with money.
Talk to them about it. Because a lot of times people, I mean, again, coming from where we come from, shoebox money, we like to see it. We like to open up the box. We got 10,000, whether 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. Like, we like to see it. But like you said, credit can take you a long way. So expound on that.
Credit can take you places that money can't, right? So if you got money and you want to buy into real estate or do something big with the money, the first thing they're going to do is say, well, what's your credit looking like? How much more money can you get to add to what you have? You're not sitting around with $1 million in cash in those shoebox. But you can have $1 million in assets and credit that you can use, which is other people's money, to generate more money. So if I got $100,000 in credit, I could take that $100,000 and turn it into $1.2 million and still able to pay the $100,000 back, but I don't banked off of them 10 times.
Damn.
So that's the difference between money and credit. Money goes away fast, credit go long. It's a big difference.
Damn, let's go. So let's stay right there. What's the real cost of getting business funding? Is it success or is it control?
The real cost of getting business funding is it success or is it control? It's power. So let me tell you this. So business funding is a lot different from personal funding. Personal funding, you can go get $10,000, $20,000. You can get $10,000, $20,000 credit cards, and that's fine. But with business credit, you're able to get more, and the sequence is different. So if I'm using my personal credit and I'm banking with Navy Federal, that's my personal bank. I don't have 10 personal banks. But if I got a business, I may have 5 to 7 different accounts at 7 different banks with 3 different credit bureaus with 3 different sequences. So I can go to this bank and get 100,000. I can go to this bank and get 100,000, and go to this bank off of one sequence, which is just Experian. Then let's go to 3 banks that use Equifax, and the other 3 banks let's go use on TransUnion. That's the power and the difference between personal and business credit, and people don't understand that.
Yeah, so do you think it's a lack of like knowledge, or is just I'm scared of having that much money and power, like you said?
I mean, most people don't know what to do with the money. That's why in my mentorship, when I help you get the funding that you need, the first thing I do is I attack your personal. I'm gonna get you a little money up front so we could pay some of that personal stuff off, put some money back, and do what we need to do. But we're gonna go into the business side of it. But I don't want them starving while they building. So, and then let's get your credit score. Let's take it from that 620 all the way up into 700 so that we can get more. So I teach them, when you get the money, how to allocate the money. You need to take at least 25% of the money and put it away for your marketing and promotion. Take another 25%, set it aside so the loan can be paying itself while you still working and flipping the money. The other 50%, you need to invest it to make more money. That's the difference between when people say, is it a lack of knowledge? It's a lack of you going to get the knowledge and getting with the right people who know how to do it. Yeah, and not the guru charging you $10,000 and they don't know anything.
Thanks.
They just learned it they just regurgitated it from somebody else, and now they selling it to the unknown, the people who don't know.
Damn. Would you rather own 100% of a small business or 50% of $1 million or $1 million one?
It's just like the stocks. Would you rather, if the stock is $114 to buy the stock, would you rather buy 10 shares of that stock, or would you rather be responsible for the corporation, whether it goes up and down? That's the question. Like, I would rather own a small percentage of a big company that can go further versus owning a company that one day I may have to sell because it's either going under or it's not ran properly.
Facts.
That's what I would rather
Yeah,
do. So
facts.
I'd rather own 10% of Apple versus trying to build my company that it may take me 10 to 15 years to even get 2% of what they get.
Facts. I had to
Yeah.
throw that in there just to see what
Yeah.
I had to see where your mind was at. How do you know when it's time to use your own money versus other people's money?
I ain't gonna never use my own money.
Mm.
You always want to use other people's money. That's what the whole funding thing and the whole banking thing and becoming bankable is all about, is using other people's money to get further.
Mm.
Because if you working every day and you got a 9 to 5 and you paying your bills, you're making $2,000 to $3,000 a month, and it's costing you $1,900 to $2,100 a live, and you got that small savings left, and that's what you're using to run the business, you're gonna go under faster than me going to go get 50,000 in funded in 30 days and able to allocate that money where it needs to go.
Damn, that's true. That's true.
You know,
Do business loans actually help entrepreneurs or just keep them kind of in debt?
it's two type of debts. It's good debt and it's bad debt. So I think when you on the personal side and you buying stuff like going to Gucci or splurging or buying cars you ain't supposed to have, and you don't even have that, you buying a 6-figure car and you don't even make more than five. You don't even make $5 million a year. That's where the bad debt is. But business, you're supposed to have debt. All businesses have debt. But it could be good debt. When you go and get the funding, that's good debt because you're actually using that money to make more money. And it's not sitting accumulating debt. It's just sitting there for a small time until the company generate the revenue to pay all of its debts off.
Yeah, facts.
So that's the difference between, some good debt and some bad debt. I see people like, I've had a couple of clients, they get the money and they go on a vacation. Because they mindset is not in a fashion of, I'm getting this money to go build my business. They want to put on for the people on social media so the people can think that they're doing something big, but they know deep down they're really not. Now you have to pay the stuff back and you didn't make no money off of your funding.
Damn.
That's the way it go.
Yeah. Can they make more money then, or if they blow, or you got to start the whole process over? Like if they,
If you blow
drop the ball.
$100,000.
Damn, I ain't say blow 100. You threw that. That's a lot to blow. God, they going on a lot of vacations blowing that.
Yeah, if you blow the $100,000, yeah, you're gonna have to start over. But now you got that hanging over your head too. Do you want to go and try to start another LLC and rebuild from scratch, or how fast did you blow the 100? Did the credit get messed up? Those are all factors. If the credit really didn't get messed up yet because they haven't started reporting, because typically it takes 60 days for the stuff to start reporting to your business credit, you probably can fix it and go get some more.
That's
and
crazy.
just have to pay that off. But I always tell people, when you get the funding, especially from the banks in the sequence, all you got to do is pay a third or a half down. They're going to come back to you and say, "Hey, do you want some more money?" That's the game. That's the whole game of it.
So wait, you said pay a third of what they gave you?
Sometimes it could be a third. Sometimes it could be half, and the lender will come back and say, "Hey, do you want some more money?" So if I gave you $25,000 the first time, they may come back and say, "Hey, we can help you get more money, give you $40,000 on top of what you already got," and then they'll take both of those loans and they'll put those together. And now instead of you just on the $25,000 or $20,000 back, you'll have a $40,000 plus whatever left over on the first loan, and they'll consolidate both
Consolidated together. Yeah. Dang. Okay. Is it smarter to build slow with no investors, or scale fast with with heavy funding?
You're gonna scale fast with the faster you got with money. When me and my partner started, we took $100,000 and put it into the business. So it's probably people who doing what we doing. This took them 10 years, and we were able to come this far in just under 14 months.
Damn.
So yeah, you're gonna go faster with the more funding that you got, but don't let that deter you though. Everybody's not walking around with 100,000, nor do they have access to get it. But even if you got 10,000, start where you at. If you got 5,000, start there.
Damn. Okay. What's one mistake you see entrepreneurs make after they get funding? I think you already said they blow the bag, but anything else? Do they that you saw?
Some people, I've seen a couple. Let me tell a story. I got a young lady. She got a little bit of money and she started saving it in a savings account, and she didn't realize, is steady going down because you're making a payment every month and it's pulling from that account. So you're saving the money without investing it to make more money. So
Okay.
she didn't understand, hey, this isn't my money. What am I sitting here saving it for? Savings is a daily trap.
So, oh damn. Okay, now, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about savings. Why do you
Yeah.
say savings is a deadly trap? Because growing up, your grandma, everybody, your mama, make sure you saving your money. Make sure you doing this. How is it a deadly
It's a
trap?
daily trap because if the money's not sitting in some type of high yield savings where it's accumulating interest and over time compounding and making you more money is just a waste of time. You need to really be only saving money for the next big investment.
Yeah, facts.
Not saving money and say, I'm gonna put this over here for 10 years. I act like you got a big jug and you putting a nickel and quarter in there every other week to
Facts.
save some money. No, you actually need to be making that money move. Money works better when it's moving around.
Facts. High yield savings account. Let's stay right there too as well. So, for example, you work for a job, they give you a 401k. Is that the same thing as like, because people would think that that's making money too, like a 401k is making
Yeah.
money. It's like, what's the difference between that and the high yield
So
savings?
a high yield savings account is usually attached to a banking or a checking account.
Okay.
And what they pay on the interest is much higher. So most of them right now, you can get one doing like 4.2% on the money that you got sitting there. So it's accumulating and growing while it's sitting in there. 401k is the money that you're dumping into a retirement plan. And sometimes the companies match dollar for dollar or whatever, the percentage is of what it's growing at, but it's two totally different things.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
take your money? Would you take your money out of a 401k and put it in a high yield savings account, or would you just leave it there if you were working? And
If I was a business owner, I would pull my money out of my 401k to build my business.
okay,
Yeah, but just to go dump it into a high yield savings, that wouldn't really make any
it wouldn't
sense.
really make sense because it's already
Yeah.
accumulating. Okay, for sure, for sure. Do you think funding gives freedom or adds pressure?
I don't think that funding gives freedom. I think, once you get the money moving, once you start growing and you getting the revenue and stuff like that, you can experience some freedom, but nothing really gives you freedom.
Yeah, fair.
Because, if you've got your business to doing 10K a month, you're doing your first 10K a month, the goal should be to get the business doing 15K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month. So it's not necessarily freedom. It's just going to require some growth.
Yeah, facts.
You know.
Facts. Has anybody ever came to you like wanting to have you as a mentor, but they didn't even know what they wanted to do with a business? They just wanted some money.
All the time. All the time. People come with an idea, whether they baking food or, they babysitting. They want to know, how can I turn this into a real business?
Mm-hmm.
And so, we just give them the plan. We give them the blueprint on, what it takes to run the business. If you want to open up a daycare center, the first thing you got to do is, see, what your credit doing, get a little bit of funding, see what certifications that's in your state that you need,
Mm-hmm.
and then how you're going to pay payroll, because you're going to need a couple more people to help you, run and manage that business. So that's what we give them, the actual blueprint.
Yeah, facts.
That we probably work with you for about 12 weeks to get your money up and get your funding in. Also getting the certifications through the state and stuff that you need. Take about 12 weeks.
Nah, for sure. Would your business survive if investors pulled out tomorrow? But you are your own investor.
I don't have any investors.
Well, would businesses? Let me reshape that.
Yeah.
Do you think if a business that had investors, like let's say a startup company, they had a shit ton of money like dumped into them, and then their investors said, you know what, I don't feel like investing in this stuff. What would you do if you were in their shoes?
Well, I would go look at my paperwork, make sure that when a person pulls out, what's the next legal step. But,
Yeah, facts.
Investors they do pull out sometime, and it could be for different various reasons. And if you're a new business owner, I wouldn't be investor heavy because you're relying strictly on that to even build the business. Again, I would go back to the drawing board, make sure my personal credit good, build up my business credit profile, and be able to support my business in some way. Even if I couldn't do it 100%, at least let me be 50% of my own support.
Facts. Should every business owner learn credit before chasing capital?
You better learn it. You better learn. I'm telling you, you can have a 700 today and go down to a 500 tomorrow. All it takes is one slip on your credit, late payment, or a collector adds something to your credit, anything can happen to anybody. It's happened to me a couple times.
Like Georgia Power did me.
Yeah, it can
Out of
happen to
nowhere.
anybody. You know what I'm saying? And you don't never know because you don't know how long it's been in collections and when they sold the debt to them. So I would just tell somebody that when your credit is great and it's at that 720 and above, do everything now before something does happen.
Damn, for sure, for sure. Is good credit more powerful than like cash in today's economy?
Yeah, excellent credit is. Good credit is just, anywhere from a 680 to a 720, but excellent credit can do a lot for you. Every major credit card like American Express, Chase, all of them, they always look at the people with the better credit.
Yeah,
You may
facts.
have a 700 to get approved for American Express and only get $2,000 limit. Then you got somebody who may have a 755 and get a $25,000 limit.
Mm.
And it varies between the credit profiles and stuff too, not just the credit score. But
Yeah, facts.
yeah, excellent credit is a very powerful tool.
For sure. What's one credit myth that keeps people broke?
What's one credit myth that keeps people broke? That everything falls off your credit in 7 years.
Mm.
And so that right there alone, you're gonna sit there and run from creditors and have debt for 7 years, hoping one day that it fall off in 7 years. And sometimes they resell the debt to somebody else, and the clock starts all over.
What about medical bills? Like if
Yeah, medical bills. A lot of medical bills have fell off of people's credit because they changed the laws of medical bills. Anything, I think under $500 or $600 automatically can't even be on your credit. But I haven't really had a lot of people with medical bills come through me, and they had medical bills lately for some reason. So I'm
Yeah,
thinking they
facts.
all falling off.
Yeah, nah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Do you think people should use nah, we ain't gonna even go there, but you said that. I got to. Do you think people should use their personal credit to fund their business goals?
Yeah. Yes. I be having family members that got good credit. Some of them got 800, and they be running around talking about their good credit score, but they haven't made any money off of it. There's no reward for having an 800 credit score, other than the fact you could tell people that, but you ain't doing nothing with it, so it's not really serving you or anybody else.
Facts.
You got an 800 credit score. You know how much, what you can do with an 800 and build something big, and versus going to a job you hate every day.
Damn.
So I tell people all the time, yeah, it's cool to get in the 700 club. It's cool to get in the 800 club, but if it ain't, working for you, you don't get no reward for having good, excellent credit.
Facts. If you had like, let's say like a 580 credit score, like right now in today's world, like, and you didn't know any of this stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? What's some of the first things you would do? Like,
the first thing I would do is find somebody who probably can help me, or I would go on YouTube and look at what does it mean when I have a 580? Where am I at? What can I get approved for? And you're gonna learn in the first 15 minutes on YouTube nothing. And so once I figure that out, I would just give it somebody who can help. Like, let me find somebody, go on the internet or something, find some people who can help me with this credit stuff, or see what I need to do to fix it on my own. But a lot of people are so scared of credit, they won't even go that far.
facts.
They'll just run around till they 45 with bad credit, not knowing that stuff can come off your credit in 3, 6 to 9 months, and you could be fixed to getting your house or whatever you're trying to get. But it's the fear of bad credit.
Yeah, facts. Man, yeah, a lot of people say they don't want to even like deal with the credit stuff when they trying to get a house and all of that stuff like
They
that.
ain't no choice.
Yeah.
We actually, my partners at CitySpan, they're doing a thing called rent to mortgage by tax season.
Wait, say that again. Rent to
They
mortgage.
doing
Okay.
a thing called rent to mortgage by tax season. And what they do is they go ahead and help you get your credit fixed, get all the negative items off, make sure the data points is there, and get the good primary accounts in your credit, and then they will either refer you to a realtor or with your realtor work together to try to get you into your house by tax season.
Damn. Nah. When did they start doing this?
My other company did it a long time ago. We just partnered with them, and so
that's hard.
We was talking, and I was like, yeah, y'all should run that. We actually used to do the rent to mortgage by Christmas, but I think it's a more, clever marketing strategy by tax season because they'll have a down payment and all that stuff.
Okay, that'd be a great Christmas gift.
Yeah,
Nah, for
going
sure.
into tax season.
Yeah, for
absolutely.
Sure. Is it smarter to build credit or chase cash flow? right now? Like I'm talking about in today, because like you know how the economy is right now.
Cash flow is hard because you don't have the systems and automations and stuff in place to even chase money. You know, I don't chase money. You know, I do what I need to do. I build the infrastructure and then, put the systems in place and then the money start coming.
Yeah.
Try to chase money or chase customers and stuff. That's old school stuff.
Yeah, facts.
All you need is a good funnel. You need a little bit of money to put behind some ads and let those people come to you.
Yeah, facts. Let's kind of shift gears, man. Like, besides helping everybody else and like helping their credit and stuff, what are some other things that you like to do? You know what I'm saying? I don't think I ever asked you that. What you into besides getting fly?
I like this guy. I like a lot of stuff, man. I love to travel. I love to go see different cultures. I love to explore our culture.
Yeah, facts.
Black Americans, we got about 20 different cultures within one culture in the United States. I mean, every side is different food, the way we speak, look, and everything.
Facts.
But international traveling, I love doing that. I'm not really a big cruise person. I've been on a couple.
I never been on a cruise.
Yeah. I'm not really a cruise person, but I'll do it if somebody say, "Hey, let's go on a cruise." I just don't want to do more than 3 days.
Yeah, I can't just see myself just being on there more than 3 days.
In my pastime, I write music. I still do music.
I remember
music
that.
is my first passion.
Yeah, facts. You gonna drop another album?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Drop an album, get a couple of Tubi movies. I ain't this ain't gonna be my, end to all my means.
Facts. I can see you in movies.
Yeah. I've done about 6 movies, in my past. Yeah, I've done a few movies.
Man, plug the movies, bro.
I got you, man.
Bro, I ain't know you was in no movies, bro. That's crazy. Nah, that's dope.
Yeah, used to do all that shoot videos and everything, but I wanna, switch gears on that and kind of help other people, up and coming artists.
Yeah, facts.
Do it for them since I know the ins and outs. I really ain't trying to be on nobody's stage or anything.
Yeah, nah, for sure. What's worse, having no credit or bad credit?
They the same.
Damn.
They the same. You can't get nothing with either one.
Damn.
Yeah, so having no credit at all is the same as having bad credit. You're gonna get denied for everything.
Yeah. What's one thing about this journey that was most fulfilling to you?
Watching people who couldn't really get ahead start getting ahead.
Yeah.
Start feel good, start having confidence, feeling good about themselves. They say when you know better, you do better.
Facts.
So, I think a lot of people, they chase dreams or they chase people. They start treating people like they gods and not knowing those people the same people as you. They have problems, they miss bills, all type of, crazy stuff. And they just got a little bit more knowledge, but, you want to take what my grandma used to always say, take the meat and leave the bones.
Yeah, facts.
Take what you can get from it and leave the rest of it away, but don't take everything somebody say word for word like it's word for word. So I would say, my most fulfilling thing is seeing people, really become successful.
Yeah, facts. I remember we were talking one time, and I want to talk about it now.
Yeah.
People think that having a lot of money is like being demonic. You know what I'm saying? Or like, well, why do you think people feel like that? When you have a whole lot of money, you either sold your soul or you did some stuff. Why do you feel like people think like that?
Because people look at themselves. Me making a lot of money make you look at yourself. Why he making money and why I ain't making none? Because you don't know why. You don't know how I'm making it. You don't know, what's my driving force to do it. So the only thing you can say about me is, oh, he done hooked up with some crooked people.
Right.
They scamming, this and that, because really you the scam. Only a scammer know what a scammer is.
Damn.
Only a scammer knows that.
Facts.
A person that's oblivious to that, they don't even understand what that is. That's why they get caught up in that type of stuff. But, we call people and we say things about people because of the way we feel about ourselves.
Damn.
So if you say it's demonic, I hear them saying all the time, Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Yeah, they always be saying that. Yeah.
They're doing this and they're doing that. We don't even know those people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even care to know them,
Yeah, facts.
But, I mean, not in a bad way, meaning that
right.
they them and I'm me, but I don't have anything bad to say about how they make their money because I'm going to make mine. And the people who say that about them say the same thing about me.
Yeah, facts.
So how many times I've been called a scam or I'm fixing credit in a basement and all this crazy stuff people used to say.
That's crazy.
But it just come with the territory. It's just a whole bunch of broke people mad at people that's making money. That's all it is. It's like in high school when you the guy that come in, you fresh and you got on the nicest sneakers. What you think all the other dudes that can't get the girls are saying?
Yeah, facts.
Oh, he is. He ain't all that. They start hating. So it's the same level of hate that's out on social media because that's where it really is, But I think, when you making your money and you building wealth and you working hard, you shouldn't be caring what people say.
Yeah, facts.
Because them people give money away. They give money to colleges when the Black Lives Matter movement was coming. They the one who built them 22,000 people out. None of us gave $1 to that. So we don't really have nothing to say.
Right.
But just keep on moving,
Yeah.
And they weren't looking for, reward or nothing. They were just like, hey, this is our people. We going to help.
Yeah, facts.
But them be the same people that's going to be doing that stuff to you too. So
That's crazy. Let me ask you this, bro. Do you think like the dollar is just gonna completely like dissipate? Do you feel like
it's going away? It's going to go away. But, money and everything just keeps changing over the decades and centuries.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when there wasn't any dollars?
Yeah.
And what was they using before that?
They talking about the price of gold now is going up too. You seen that?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But I'm saying those kind of shifts happen all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to eventually go away.
Damn.
You're not going to be passing around dollars.
Damn. Do you think we're gonna be walking around here with chips in our arms and like doing all that?
I would hate to even say this on your podcast because YouTube and them will shut us down if I say what I'm about to say. But
just
they've already
tread lightly.
They've already put some of that in people already.
Mm.
When they told you may be sick and something can happen, and they gave you something.
You think that's what it was?
I don't think anything.
Yeah, he had to drink to that. For sure. Damn, we will talk off camera about that for sure.
Absolutely.
But nah, man. Yeah, life is amazing, bro. So what does the rest of 2025 look like for you?
2025 is already gone for us. We already in 2026. Just like Donnie had his 2025 project 2025, we got a project 2026 where we want to help 100 entrepreneurs make 6 figures or better within the first 6 months of the year.
Damn.
So, we all know the fiscal year ended on October 21st, and now, October 22nd is really, as entrepreneurs, our new year. We already in 2026, so we got a lot planned. We're going to start our podcast in January.
Thanks.
We also, going to be doing another podcast tour probably between, end of spring and then also, growing the business, growing our speaking engagement brands and different stuff like that. And I know Mila's, going more into her mindset stuff. And
Shout out to Mila.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we just growing. We just keep going. We ain't going to stop.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. We know they taking away food stamps, so you gotta.
Yes, let's talk about that too, man. Like my bad. Let's talk about that.
Hit the bulletproof entrepreneurs up.
You think they're gonna completely take away food stamps?
I don't think that they have the power to do that.
That's what I was gonna say.
We was talking about that yesterday over dinner. Basically it's an economy thing. So if the food stamps represent anywhere from 16 to 23% of the market in the grocery store sector, if they take that away, you'll see massive grocery stores and stuff going away fast. Because how are they going to replace 20-something% of that revenue that they're making? And a lot of grocery stores are still struggling right now. Only the big chains is making it, but even they're closing stores. So that's going to be a super hit to the economy. And then what happens to all of those people that's on the benefits, the elderly, the kids, the school lunches, all that stuff that's a part of those programs? What happens in the next 12 months to that group of people?
Yeah, facts.
And so, they're going to bring the people's stamps back in, pay them back. It's just another political thing that, is distracting y'all from, paying attention to the real stuff.
Yeah. You heard about that $2,000 tariff check everybody's supposed to be getting?
I don't even listen. I'm not looking for it. I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I was just saying. I'm saying. Yeah.
Even when they was giving away what was them checks they used to give away to everybody? Stimulus checks. I never look for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, facts.
I never look for it.
Right.
I'm not expecting the government to do anything for me. And us black people, we need to really get out of that mode too.
Yeah, facts.
We know how to build civilizations and everything. I don't know why we're sitting around waiting for people to give us stuff.
Right.
And that's not me throwing shade on the disabled or the elderly or people who really need it, but I'm saying able-bodied people like me and you, you shouldn't be waiting around for anybody to do anything for you.
Right. When do you think what do you think it would take for like us to wake up, like, you know what I'm saying, and get into that mind?
I think it's already happening. I think COVID has shifted a lot of not even just black people, just Americans period into entrepreneurship. Just think about podcasts. There was no podcast hardly around before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But now, you know, everybody can start a podcast and everybody can make money off it. It's still a small industry, you know, and you know, there's posed for growth, but you know, stuff like this came about, you know, because of COVID. Or you think about the people don't want to go back to work. They rather work from home, but now they trying to bring everybody back into them offices, and people like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and start my banana pudding business. I'm gonna go start my, you know, coaching business. I'm gonna go start something that I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm thinking, you know, the whole country is really waking up and they see the shift too. That's why they implementing new things to distract you from that wake up call.
Damn. My guy.
You already know.
Man, it's always a blessing to have you, bro. Real talk, man. Before we get up out of here, man, I got a question for you, bro.
Yeah.
What are you most grateful for at this moment of your life?
I think I'm most grateful for, you know, still being 45 years old, having good health. You know, I still, you know, got at least one of my parents.
You ain't got no gray hair, nigga. Like,
I got a few of them in there.
You don't even look 45.
Yeah. They in there, but, you know, having the wisdom and knowledge that I've been equipped with over the years, I'm grateful for that.
Dope.
You know, I'm grateful for all my brothers and sisters. You know, they all doing good. They all entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, just be able to breathe every day and, you know, be able to pour into other people. You know, I'm grateful for that. I don't worry about the money. I feel like money will come long as you moving.
Mm-hmm.
My mentor used to always say, whatever is not moving is dead. So you got to
That's true.
You got to keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so long as we keep moving to this thing, man, like, you know, the podcast growing, you'll see. Keep going. Other opportunities going to come your way too.
Yeah, facts.
You know, bigger people going to start coming your way. They're going to be looking. That's just the way life goes. It's the people who sit around that's not doing nothing or hoping or praying. None of that stuff is going to get you to the next level.
Right.
It's going to be those feet, that mouthpiece, and that mentality. That's what's going to get you to the next level. They ain't even got to do nothing with talent.
That's real.
You know?
That's real.
Consistency beat talent every day.
Every time, bro. But nah, man, let the people know where they can find you.
All right, guys, I'm T. Anthony Money, and you got me right on here with Vibing with Vito, and I'm part of the Bulletproof Entrepreneurs, and you can find me on Instagram at the Brand Boss ATL, or you can find us on YouTube at the Bulletproof Entrepreneurs.com.
Man, I appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely. And don't forget, check us out. We got a mastermind coming up on November the 11th through the 13th. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be big. We helping 100 people make their first $10K a month. Meet me there.
That's Tuesday. Y'all about to get it in ASAP. Let's get it.
Kickoff call tomorrow.
For sure.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's been another episode Vibing with Vito. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on the Big Fast Network. You already know, shout out to the team. You already know the slogan, we vibrating higher. Always chasing purpose over popularity. We gone.